If you're thinking about launching a podcast for your business in 2026, here's one thing you can do to ensure you stand out and have a chance to really connect with your audience. Don't settle. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, in 2025, I came across several business podcasts that used what I would just call subpar audio, or they just sounded like everybody else. And this is a problem, not only because it makes it hard to stand out, but also because it's not uncommon these days for people to listen to multiple shows a week, which may include a couple of shows that are in your industry. So now you really have to stand out. And with so many new podcasts launching every month and listeners having so much to choose from, you have to consider what kind of a first impression you're going to make on them in those first few seconds. And who knows how much time they're going to make that decision when they press play to check one of your episodes out. For example, when they do that, they don't want to hear this.
Welcome to the Business Podcast. I'm your host, Roger Taylor. This show covers business concepts, business conversations, and business perspectives for today's business environment.
Or don't make them think they're about to get a high quality show because of a high quality introduction and then jar them with bad audio like this.
This is the Podcast Example Podcast with your host, Jim Miller.
Welcome to the podcast, one and all. I am Jim Miller, your host today on the show. And here's something else that really has to stop, and I still hear this today. And I can't believe it, because what it means is your listener is going to have to hear this at the beginning of every single episode. Don't give everybody your resume at the beginning of every episode like this.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Ward, CEO and founder of Ashley Ward Solutions Group, where we specialize in business success. I'm a writer, content marketer, social media strategist, entrepreneur, business expert, thought leader, brand builder, and growth consultant. And I'm here to help ensure your business stays healthy, your marketing works the way you want it to, and everything is done in the most effective way possible through my business.
You really have to think about their experience and what it is today before they get to your show and what's shaping their potential reactions and responses to what you're about to give them. Now, what are they going to hear from you? Are you going to give them something that might make them say, you know what, I think I'll add this podcast to my listening routine or my podcast library? You don't have to sound like you're at Skywalker Sound in a professional studio, but you at least have to prove to the audience you care enough to give them something of quality. I mean, especially since we have such, easy access to better audio tools, definitely a lot better than when I started in 2011. And with that, listener attitudes about audio quality can change. They have to be able to understand you. And if they're already getting good quality from other people, why are they going to settle? Because you decided to settle. And the other thing that you have to do in the business podcast space to sound different is not have a show that opens like this.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. I am your host, Ronald Miller, and I am very excited to have on our guest today, Cindy Mancini. She has a new book out, but Cindy, first tell us about yourself before we get to my predictable questions.
The irony here is that if your audience has ever listened to a podcast, especially a business podcast, they've probably heard that scripting and that format a lot. And so have you, and that might be the reason why you decided to maybe start your podcast that way, because your brain's decided, oh, well, that's how a business podcast sounds. And we're so interested in being safe that way that we haven't considered enough that our listeners have already heard that 150 times. And when they hear ours, it's just going to be yet another show that sounds like so many others. So that could mean even with good audio, if it's the same old format, that might not even be enough to earn a spot in their rotation or their listening routine. So when I say don't settle, I'm saying don't settle for what most people do or other people do. Be different, be creative with your format, take a unique angle, be bold, find new ways to showcase your unique perspective, your expertise. And guess what? You don't even have to have an interview show to do that. You definitely don't need a $10,000 budget or a professional studio. You just need to care enough to not sound like everybody else. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Here are some other videos that might interest you.